Towards the end of last season, we saw the success of the run game with victories over Mizzou and in the Armed Forces Bowl. I was just curious if you plan on utilizing that a little bit more and how effective you think it'll be should you choose to use it.
Well, you utilize it all the time. I think it'll be effective. The biggest thing is we've gotten better up front. We've gotten better at running back, and we did in the course of the season. So,
Coach, and how much of that, too, is really a product of the maturation of the quarterback, being able to get out of the wrong play and kind of take what the defense gives them?
I think that's definitely a part of it. We're still moving targets, I think, as with the running backs and the offensive line. But we've improved, and we've improved quite a bit since the end of last season.
Coach, in the last scrimmage, I think you gave Chance and Will both 3 series, and the freshmen got a series apiece. How do you kind of want to construct the scrimmage on Saturday from a quarterback standpoint?
We'll meet about that tomorrow afternoon. I think it'll be similar, though.
After the scrimmage, you call out the offensive line a little bit, and we're kind of displeased with some of what you saw from them. Do you feel like they've kind of responded this week? Do you think they've made strides since then?
Yeah, I think so. It's the biggest thing, we've got to put good plays, closer together. We make plenty of good plays. We make them in streaks sometimes. I thought, today we kind of traded blows. I thought it was pretty even on both sides, but nobody really got the momentum for too long. A little bit in team. Offensively, we had it for a long time, and then they had it for a long time.
I think it was a couple weeks ago you said that the offensive line was still kind of shaping itself, moving around. Are you a little more confident with where they are now, that the 5 that are going to be up there?
I think a little more would be a good way to put it.
What, if anything, in your film review has maybe been a pleasant surprise this year? Is there anything that maybe is a little bit ahead of where you expected it to be offensively right now?
We're executing maybe a little better, but we have a long ways to go. But, you can see guys improving, and you can see, just they transition quicker. That's the biggest thing. It's not like you turn on the film, somebody's totally wrong. But just slow, hesitant, and, we're a little crisper right now.
Brandon Ruiz coming back for another year. How important is it to what this team does to have an experienced kicker like him?
That's important. He's a very quality kicker, does a lot of good things. Had a good year last year, so, yeah, it's good to have him back.
Coach, you talk often about Tyson Bryant and his success in the offseason with his guys, and they finally had an offseason here. You can kind of see a pretty big difference in Charles Cross. What do you notice from him after he got a full year in the offseason in the weight room?
Well, he was good last year, I thought, but he's bigger now. He's faster now, and then also has logged more reps. I think that obviously the offseason's a big part of that. Last year we didn't have much of an offseason. We didn't have the first offseason. We didn't have spring. Then we sort of had a second offseason, and sort of, I think, would be generous. So I think the off seasons are really important, and I think that's helped elevate us some too.
Coach, we hadn't seen Jordan Davis since he left the field on the scrimmage on Saturday. I mean, what's his availability the rest of camp?
I don't have any update on it. I mean, it's no update right now. So.
What are you hoping to get accomplished when you turn on the film after Saturday scrimmage, from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2? What are you hoping to see?
Well, I don't know. I think that just improvement. We'd like to see a steady improvement from the first one, and then also as we go into, we call it mock game week, where it's kind of all the periods are the same as game week, and then we'd like to be because then we have to make some decisions, no question, and so then we'd like to be in a good position to do that and really have a crisp, well-executed scrimmage.
Do you feel your team has shored up a little bit of the inconsistencies and streakiness you talked about a few weeks ago?
Some. We've improved. I think it's a constant battle. I think no matter who's doing it the best, I think it's a constant battle.
How would you evaluate where the defense is right now, based on your own review?
I think they've improved. I think they've improved. I think we've got a little more depth. We've got some, more people contributing, and and then it gets tough to say because offensively you're improving too. So, you hit some stalemates there a little bit, but I think both sides are better than last year. By a significant margin. So.
You mentioned those stalemates. Is that really what you want, though? I mean, you want
trading plays. I mean, ideally, you want them trading plays. I mean, if one side dominates, I mean, that may be good for that side. Maybe they did a heck of a job, but it means you're struggling. You'd like trading plays instead of long streaks, is how I've always looked at it.
Compared to this point in last year's camp, are you seeing more injuries or fewer injuries, and do you think the extra conditioning has played a role?
Oh, I don't comment on injuries, but I think conditioning definitely helps with that for sure.
It seems like the energy has been good in most practice sessions out here too. I mean, are they reaching your expectations in that regard? And if so, what have you kind of seen in that respect?
I think as far as playing hard, as far as being competitive, as far as being excited to be out here, I think they're doing a really good job.
You talk a lot about being the most excited to play. Are you seeing some of these returning guys maybe elevating that part of their game?
I do. I definitely do. I think really two things. I think we had some addition by subtraction. I think that we had more time to work and some steady off seasons. I think that then as people start to know their role, they buy in more, and then as they do that and get comfortable, then they elevate others around them, and I see that happening.
Which player on the offensive line has stood out the most to you so far, and how has he met or exceeded your expectations?
Oh, I don't have one. Charles has been steady, but he was pretty steady last year. I think Cam Jones, we flipped him to the other side, and he does some real good stuff. He's athletic and he's bigger than he was. And then Sharp has really done a good job at center. He's very strong, very solid, and is starting to do a good job leading that group. A lot of times offensive line, you want him to lose weight. Dollar Bill, we wanted him to gain weight. Dollar Bill, we wanted him to lose, and he did, and he's in better shape. He's more mobile and does some good things, and is starting to carve out a role for himself there. And then Lashley, who's a pretty athletic guy, is starting to get comfortable at right tackle.
Do you think with Sharp just kind of getting more snaps throughout fall that has benefited him and kind of helped him adjust as time has passed?
It has a lot. He didn't play much last year. Playing a more significant role, I think that's helped that alone. But then also, I think he's adjusted to center.
What are some things you can remember seeing from him last year that gave you that confidence to give him some more playing time coming into this season?
Yeah, he's all over the place, and then later in the season, he is a steadier player and just so hard to move. He's a thick guy with long arms, so hard to move. And then, when he's stopped kind of pressing on himself and let himself play, then he really started to take off.
So if we get through Saturday, Coach, what would you call a successful scrimmage?
Competitive at every level, execution on both sides of the ball, which pretty well means that both sides of the ball are pissed because they would have liked to have had more plays and would have liked to have been more explosive and had more success on their side of the ball. But overall, competitive, some dynamic and consistent play that isn't streaky or in spurts.